Hey everybody, Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. In the last 24 hours or so, Bitcoin has shot up approximately $800. Currently, we're sitting at $14,885. As you can see, here are the latest numbers. Again, at the time of this recording, but things are moving quickly. It may change by the time you're watching this video. That's roughly a 24-hour gain right now of 7%, actually 7.2% according to CoinGecko.com. Ethereum is also up very nicely. We'll have a look at Ethereum in just a moment, up over 6% on the day. Taking a look at the chart here, guys, we're seeing some very, very impressive numbers. Really, we are very much in uncharted territory, locally speaking, because you have to go back to July of 2019. In fact, June of 2019, where we had a local high of, it was still below $13,000, and here we are knocking on the door of $15,000. There's not much resistance between where we currently sit, again, just below 14.9, between where we currently are and between the all-time highs of just below $20,000 back in December of 2017. We're going to stay on top of this, but this is a quick moving story. There's not a whole lot happening in the world of Bitcoin at the moment. But guys, for everybody that's been here over the course of these last 2, maybe 3 years, this extended bear market, again, there is not much resistance between where we currently sit and between the all-time highs of nearly 3 years ago. Let's kick things off, however, with this major Ethereum news. Vitalik Buterin here confirming that today the launch of the deposit contract has been initiated. So this is a big deal because it introduces the ability for users to deposit those 32 Ether that are required to participate in staking. The full story is that Ethereum 2.0's beacon chain genesis will take place on December 1st. That's the date that we've been giving. Here's the big if, this is the important part, if at least 16,384 deposits of 32 Ethereum are received. I think that's a very realistic number to achieve. I have no doubt that there's a community that's ready and waiting and very much willing to participate and supply those 16,384 deposits. It's about the equivalent of 524,288 ETH at the moment, or about $200 million worth, but I think we can get it. Phrasing it a little bit differently, it means that about 13% of all the addresses currently holding more than 32 ETH will need to participate in order to launch staking. And just in case the amount is not going to be met, that launch will be postponed by 7 days. So it's not the end of the world, but that's the threshold that is needed here to launch this next chapter in the volume in the book that is Ethereum. This is relatively breaking news. It was published yesterday on the 4th of November. Ethereum 2 quick update number 19. If you're interested in some of the technical specifications of what this means, what that 7-day trigger period and threshold means kind of in concrete terms, you guys can check this out. We'll link to it in the discussion below. But I think most importantly, we had this yesterday on our Instagram. By the way, follow Altcoin Buzz on Instagram if you're not already. I guess the good news is that Vitalik will see some version of Ethereum 2.0 really before his old years, before his golden years as an older gentleman. So we're very happy to be able to report that we're seeing the beginnings of this massive turning point for Ethereum, and it's kind of in sync with all this positive Bitcoin news and this positive Bitcoin price action. So we're delighted to be discussing it here on altcoinbuzz.io. Vitalik Buterin offers details on ETH 2.0. This article is by David. Buterin recently was interviewed on a podcast where he discussed various facets of Ethereum 2.0. So this was a podcast with David Hoffman and Ryan Sean Adams of the Bankless podcast, and Vitalik Buterin talked about all the important details and facets revolving around Ethereum 2.0. Important takeaways here are the fact that Buterin confirmed Ethereum 2.0 will be launching soon, as testing has already been done for phase 0. And this is important because phase 0, of course, is proof of stake. Phase 1 is data sharding, and phase 2 at some point is going to be execution sharding. And of course, with POS, proof of stake, Buterin notes that the minor centralization risks and energy waste of proof of work systems will be drastically reduced. This would increase openness and democracy to both the stakers and the users. Buterin was quoted with the following statement: "We believe that the base layers of the new internet should be an open thing that is expected for regular users to be able to participate in." Really, since 2015, POS and sharding have been part of the Ethereum social contract, and that contract was cemented by the 2.0 fork, resulting in the opposition making the decision to move to the ETC chain. And then in 2014, Vitalik discussed proof of stake as a solution to problems in cryptocurrencies. And he also wrote about the similitude between POS and POW. Then last year, in 2019, Buterin talked about the problems found in the cryptocurrency sphere and the progress that has been made on each of them. Going back to those technical specifications, ETH2 will have a min genesis time of this number here, or for those of you who don't think in Unix time, the 1st of December 2020 at noon UTC, December 1st, 2020, really just a few weeks away. Decrypt.co is also covering the news. Ethereum 2.0 set to launch on the 1st of December. You can also read about it here on tokenhell.com. ETH 2.0 may launch on the 1st of December as deposit contract goes live. Now, as you can imagine, this has been good for the price of Ethereum, but many people are saying it's really just the beginning. I'd like to issue an informal poll here in a moment, but first I'd like to go through what Ryan Sean Adams here has to say. He is a crypto investor, of course. Ethereum 2 is not priced in. Ethereum staking is not priced in. Ethereum as money is not priced in. Ethereum DeFi, decentralized finance, is not priced in. EIP 1559 ETH burn is not priced in, and therefore ETH at $400 is hilarious. In other words, he's suggesting that really the sky's the limit, and we're going to see new all-time highs in hopefully the relatively new future. So here's my informal poll. I completely agree with Ryan here. I've said for a while now the Ethereum network, the value that companies, that individuals, that consortiums are going to place on that network eventually in the form of assets, smart contracts. I think that's going to far outstrip anything that we currently see in cryptocurrency. That's not to say that, Ethereum's market cap will outstrip Bitcoin's, but I think the value of Ethereum's network is going to be the most valuable thing that we can point to in the world of cryptocurrency. That's my contention. So I think Ethereum has a big future. My question to you, my poll is, do you guys currently have those 32 ETH that are required for staking? I'll go first in full transparency. I do. So I'm looking forward to staking and taking advantage of this new structure here, this POS structure. I'm wondering how many of you out there in the Altcoin Buzz army are ready for this, have been building up to it. Let me know in the comments below if you're prepared to take advantage of this new structure. Do you have those 32 ETH ready to go on the 1st of December? But with all due respect to Ethereum, the story of the day really has to be Bitcoin's rise here. Still sitting at that price somewhere in the $14,850 range, but just a phenomenal run up in these last 24 hours, up about 5% here on the day, as you can see. And odd gems with this observation, the last time Bitcoin crossed 14.7K, it was the first week of December 2017, the peak euphoria period. A week later, Bitcoin hit all-time highs of 19.8K. Currently, Bitcoin isn't even close to peak euphoria and is sitting comfortably at 14.6K. Make that 14.8K. Therefore, Odd Gem's contention is that 2021 and 22 will be life-changing. Patience, amigos. And I think that's a very good observation, because despite the fact that we're seeing these great prices, we're not seeing a lot in terms of search volume. And by that, I mean things like Google Trends. I mean things like kind of everyday chit-chat to dinner table discussions. People aren't talking about Bitcoin the way they used to, and maybe that's a function of the institutional support that's starting to kick in. But people are not as excited about Bitcoin as they were back in 2017 or even in other periods of time. So imagine if we continue along this path with this positive price action, and then add to that the euphoria that at some point is inevitable. It is going to kick in. Bitcoin's dominance right now is through the roof, 64.7%, and the total market cap really pushed by Bitcoin, buoyed by Bitcoin's performance, up 6.1% on the day, $425.9 billion. Now, I don't want to oversell that metric too much, because we have seen equivalent and even higher Bitcoin dominance metrics and numbers in the past. However, in a local sense, certainly for this year, 2020, that is very high. And I'd like to refer you guys back to this article by Jeffrey Francis, Bitcoin dominance and its relation with altcoin price. What does it mean? We are very much now in a Bitcoin cycle. Altcoin dominance is something that is decreasing. These tend to be inversely correlated. In other words, when you have Bitcoin dominance moving up, you have the lion's share of the funding and the capital and really the enthusiasm getting behind Bitcoin. And therefore, not only are people not investing in altcoins, altcoin investors are pulling their money out of altcoins and diverting it into Bitcoin. So it seems to be a bit of a yin-yang relationship. Once Bitcoin settles down, that's more, usually that's more or less the time when the altcoins kind of pick up and their cycle begins, because people, for whatever reason, are a little bit, underwhelmed with Bitcoin, or maybe the hysteria has worn off and people figure, okay, now I can make some money with altcoins. So many of you guys know this already. If this is new terminology for you, I would like to very much point you in the direction, again, of this article by Jeffrey Francis, which maps out those relationships between Bitcoin's dominance, its price, altcoins' overall collective dominance, and their collective price. So check it out. We'll link to this in the description below. There is also news of a Bitcoin Cash hard fork happening right now, and Jeffrey's also providing us with a price prediction on the subject. Is it possible that the Bitcoin Cash blockchain may fork into two separate chains due to a lack of consensus in regards to distributing mining fees? Well, the Bitcoin Cash community is split amidst a decision for a network upgrade and mining fee distribution. A consensus has not yet been reached for the upcoming fork, which could result in a split of the Bitcoin Cash chain into two chains. None of this is 100% confirmed, but we do expect that the Bitcoin Cash blockchain is expected to split into BCHA and BCHN on the 15th of November. And the main reason for this split is kind of a difference of opinion with regarding the sharing of the 8% mining fee. So it's pretty important to keep in mind that depending on where you may keep your Bitcoin Cash, you'll have to check with your exchange to see what's being covered. So if you want to avail yourself of some of the free coins, again, as per Jeffrey's advice, you should check with your exchange or wallet to confirm and ensure that they are supporting the particular fork. And if that is the case, if they are supporting the new fork, well, then you don't have to do anything. Those coins will be created and they will appear, materialize out of thin air seemingly, and you'll be that much richer, hopefully. Now, of course, none of this is financial advice, but historically speaking, the less dominant chain begins trading at about 10% of the price of the more dominant chain. And taking a look at Bitcoin Cash right now, it actually happens to be up pretty nicely despite really faltering altcoin prices across the board. Bitcoin Cash, perhaps in anticipation of this new fork, is now up $248. Excuse me, the total is $248, but it is up 5.6%. Let's roughly round that to $250. So assuming the new dominant chain is 10% higher, add a $25 to $250, you could be looking at a new trading price in the range of $275. Guys, take a look at the rest of Jeffrey's article for all the full rationale and his breakdown of what to consider quantitatively. Once again, though, however, none of this is financial advice. And that about wraps it up for today, everybody. Hey, comment below with the current price of Bitcoin as you're watching this video, because of course this is a fast moving market. Be sure to follow us on all the regular social media channels and keep checking back into the website altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and of course hit the bell to receive notifications if you guys enjoyed this video. Again, let me know below that unofficial poll, more of a discussion, not so much a poll, but more of a discussion in the comments. Let me know if you guys, number one, are ready to start staking Ethereum. Do you have 32 Ethereum that you have built up in anticipation of Ethereum 2.0, which is now really starting to get underway rather on the 1st of December. That's coming up very quickly. I have my 32 Ethereum. I'm very much looking forward to it. Let me know in the discussion below if that's something that you already have or if that's something that you're working up toward. Stay safe out there, everybody. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.